this club. I'm not defensive about it. Yes, people, what's happening? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to another breaking news transfer video. First things first, smash the like button, subscribe if you're new around here, all of that good stuff. And as always, let me know your thoughts in the comments. And guys, this breaking news was not something I saw coming, wasn't something I was expecting to be saying, but here we are. Djordje Petrovic is expected to join newly promoted Sunderland in a deal worth 25 million euros. Sunderland are closing in on a deal for the Serbia international. I mean, when I saw this, it was mad. From Djordje Petrovic, who's been very, very reliable this window so far. Sunderland aren't done yet today. Newly promoted side are close to finalising the signing of Chelsea goalkeeper Petravic on a 5-year deal. Deal worth around 25 million euros. I can't believe this. I really can't believe it. You know, it's a real strange one for me. This whole Petravic situation has really been an odd one because you hear the clubs that are interested in him. You know, Petravic was on loan at Strasbourg last season, excelled in Liga, was one of the best goalkeepers statistically in Europe's top 5 leagues, topped a lot of the important metrics. And he was expected to come back and challenge for the #1 spot at Chelsea. We then get the news, obviously, he doesn't make the squad for the Club World Cup. Apparently, he didn't want to be in it unless he was guaranteed to be #1. We're never going to really know the true story on that. But he's linked with teams like Monaco, Galatasaray, Champions League teams. And you would have thought he was going to go somewhere where there would be European football. So it comes as a major, major surprise to hear that he's going to be it looks like he's going to join Sunderland. Sunderland are a massive football club, don't get me wrong. Back in the Premier League for the first time in, 20-odd years it must be. You know, great history, big football club, wonderful place to play your football at a Stadium of Light. But you would have to question why he would be going there over choices in Europe, over Champions League football, or at least Europa League football. Yes, it's a very ambitious project. They're spending a lot of money this summer. You need to when you come up to try and stay in the Premier League. But it's a strange one. And, you know, it goes to show that, it goes to show as well, by the way, that gentleman's agreement, the Athletic were reporting, that gentleman's agreement, the Athletic were reporting that Petravic could leave for £25 million, was obviously not true, or they've changed their mind on it. Because 25 million euros is about 20 million pounds. And look, it's not a bad deal. I mean, I thought we might have been able to get a bit more for him if this fee is true, because we paid 14 million 2 years ago. He did a brilliant season. His value should be, I feel, in excess of 20 million. But as I've discussed before, you know, the goalkeeping market is strange in terms of fees. 20 million quid, which this deal looks like it could be, is going to put you in the top 10 most expensive goalkeepers of all time, which feels like a crazy thing to say. But Petravic is Chelsea's best goalkeeper, and I just don't understand. I just don't understand the thought process behind this at all. I really don't. You know, that 25 million euros there, that's your Mike Maignan money. Pick up the phone to AC Milan. Guys, we've got the dough. We're going to bid 25 million euros for Mike Maignan. 20 million euros plus 5 in bonuses or whatever. And that way is net spend of 0. And you've essentially traded Petravic for Maignan. And that makes perfect sense. And that's a really great deal and something that we should absolutely be doing. But once again, I can't help but feel it looks like we are going to be in a situation where Robert Sanchez is #1. And that is absolutely criminal. I'm sorry, it's absolutely criminal. You cannot be a serious football club. Say you want to challenge for the biggest trophies and the best trophies, work your way back up the Premier League, but you've got Robert Sanchez as your #1 goalkeeper. And you are choosing to make that decision, not 1 season in a row, but potentially 2 seasons on the bounce. You are choosing to make that decision. That is absolutely mental. But this Petravic thing is just real strange. I honestly expected him to go somewhere in Europe. I expected him to go to a club with European football on offer. Yes, he'll absolutely be #1 at Sunderland. Of course he will be. It's a chance to stay in the Premier League. But it's also a situation where there must be some sort of relegation release clause, because Sunderland with the greatest of respects, they probably will go down. They probably will go down. And he's not going to be playing championship football in the 26-27 season. That's not going to run. So, you know, he is taking a gamble by going there. Sunderland is spending money. I hope they stay up. But he's taken a big gamble there as well, where he could once again, next summer, if Sunderland go down, he could be on the move. So I'm just a little bit confused by it all. But we're going to have a newly promoted side with a better goalkeeper than us. That's mental. Absolutely mental, that is. It just doesn't make any sense at all. I just don't get it, chap. I don't get it at all. Why Petravic would want to go to Sunderland, and what's gone on between Petravic and Chelsea that means, you know, we're so desperate to get rid of him. So something's off with this entire situation surrounding Djordje Petrovic, but it looks like he's going to get his move, and it looks like he will be returning to Stamford Bridge next season in goal for Sunderland, which is crazy. But the transfer window's mad. But, you know, we were wondering about outgoings and when we were start hearing some news. Well, I don't think anyone was expecting us to be getting the news of Djordje Petrovic closing in on a move to Sunderland. But here we are. The transfer window's mad. Chelsea are mad in the transfer window, but we're going to make £6 million profit on Petravic. Could be a little bit more potentially. And I guess, yeah, it just feels like the whole transfer itself has just sort of been a massive waste of everybody's time, because the whole point of going to Strasbourg and proving yourself there is that you go and get a chance at Chelsea, and he's not been given that chance. Now, whether he said that he demanded to be a number one goalkeeper next season, I've got no idea. I don't think he's a sort of player that would do that. It doesn't strike me as that sort of character. But also, he did do that. He's got every right to do that because of who is currently in possession of the number one shirt. I'd be fuming if I had to prove myself over Robert Sanchez. Have you not just seen what I was doing last season at Strasbourg? That's my proof that I'm miles better than this goalkeeper. So I get it from that perspective, that actually he shouldn't have to prove himself. You know, he's already proven himself in the second half of the season under Poch that he was good enough and he was better than Sanchez. And he's certainly proven on loan at Strasbourg that he can be one of the best goalkeepers in Europe, and that he is certainly better than Robert Sanchez. So what are we doing here? What are we doing here? It's not adding up. It's not making an awful lot of sense, but this is Chelsea. This is the transfer market. It looks like another outgoing, a second goalkeeper on their way out after Kepa. And yeah, we move from there. We see what happens. I don't think Chelsea will sign a new goalkeeper this summer. I hope this changes things, and I hope I'm wrong, but I'm not going to hold my breath over it. But yeah, guys, that's just my thoughts on Petravic and the breaking news that he is closing in on a move to Sunderland for €25 million. Smash the like, subscribe if you're new, leave your thoughts in the comments, up the Chelsea, and I'm out. Peace.